Shalom. The Jewish community of Pensacola would like to express our thankfulness to you for joining us as we commemorate the most unexplainable horror that was the Shoah, the Holocaust. Your presence at our memorial today is a part of a larger worldwide gathering of people of like minds and hearts who, through their participation in these assemblies and marches, are shouting to the world, never again. As more time passes, we must never allow the remembrance of those 6 million souls to fade away from our minds and consciences. We must always remember so that we can make sure that such an atrocity of hateful and evil is never allowed to be perpetrated upon mankind again. We're going to say the mourner's Kaddish, and I'm going to say the Hebrew of it, and then she's going to name the different death camps in between, because we're memorializing those from the camps. So, Yikadal,
Auschwitz,
V'yikadash,
Lodz,
Shmei Rabbah,
Ponar,
Be'alma Divra Kirutei,
Babiyar,
V'yamlik Malchutei,
Mayadnik,
V'chayachon Uvyomachon,
Birkenau,
Uvchaye de Kol Beit Yisrael,
Kovno,
Be'agala Zman Kariv,
Nauska,
Ve'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mavarak Le'lam Alo Me'almaya,
Wiesenstadt,
Yitbarach V'yishtabach,
Buchenwald,
V'yit Bar V'yit Ramam,
Lanka,
V'yit Naseh V'yit Adar, V'yit Alel V'yit Alal,
Bergen-Belsen,
Shmei de Kudashah,
Belsen,
Brichu, Baruchu Le'olam,
Dachau,
Min Kol Birchata V'shirata,
Minsk,
Tushbachata V'nechamata,
Warsaw,
Damiran Ba'alma, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabbamid Shemaya V'chaim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru, Amen. Osei Shalom B'mromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru, Amen. In English, may his great name grow exalted and sanctified in the world which he has created as he willed. May he give reign to his kingship in your lifetime and in your days, and in the lifetimes of the entire house of Israel, swiftly and soon, and say, may his great name be blessed forever and ever. Blessed, praised, glorified, extolled, mighty, upraised, and lauded be the name of the Holy One, beyond all blessing and song, praise and consolation that are uttered in the world, and respond.
Amen.
May there be abundant peace from heaven and life upon us and upon all Israel. May he who makes peace in his high places make peace upon us and upon all Israel. And say,
Amen.
Popsy.
Holocaust by Barbara Sonek. We played, we loved, we laughed, we were loved. We were ripped from the arms of our parents and thrown into the fire. We were nothing more than children. We had a future. We were going to be lawyers, rabbis, wives, teachers, mothers. We had dreams. Then we had no hope. We were taken away in the dead of night, like cattle in cars, no air to breathe, smothering, crying, starving, dying, separated from the world to be no more. From the ashes, hear our plea. This atrocity to mankind cannot happen again. Remember us, for we were the children whose dreams and lives were stolen away.
Barbara.
First they came for the Jews by Martin E. Muller. First they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there's no one left to speak for.
I wanted to share for just a few minutes, and then we'll close with El Malay Rachamim, which is God full of mercy, and Rebbitzin will read that. But I was thinking that, my family, most of it was wiped out in the Shoah. There's very little of my family left. Most, if somebody has my last name, it's just my brothers, sisters, and cousins as a result of this atrocity. And the atrocity was brought on largely by people just not saying anything and just not doing anything. The Nazi Party was a small group of people compared to the entirety of Germany and later the other nations that joined in. And I was thinking about that in relationship to what's going on around the world today, and we see a rise of anti-Semitism around the world. We see acts going on all over the place in Europe and even in the United States. And then this year, at the State of the Union address, our local congressman invited a Holocaust denier and a white supremacist to be his guest at the State of the Union address, which shocked me that somebody would either be that insensitive or just not care. And since then, he's had opportunities to talk about it and even joked about how people think it's such a big thing or make a big deal out of it. Listen, the Holocaust is a big deal. It's a big deal no matter who deals with that kind of a execution plan. Doesn't matter whether you're white or black, whether you're American or from some other country. When somebody wants to wipe out an entire group of people, it's a big deal. And it's a big deal that 6 million Jews died in the Shoah, and about that many non-Jews died alongside of them in the Shoah. And to invite somebody to that is, in a great way, doing exactly what we're talking about, ignoring it, pretending it didn't happen, being silent at a time when we need to rise up and speak out for people groups that are being exterminated all around the globe, and remembering the past so we don't relive it. We say never forget and never again over and over. And I'm telling you that if people like that invite people that deny the Holocaust, bring people that are white supremacists to an event as serious as the State of the Union address where the president is speaking to the entire nation, by bringing that man there, he was saying that man was a guest of the state of Florida and our representative. And I find that reprehensible that went on. And it should not have happened. And we should speak out, and it should be spoken out loudly by people that stand up and say this isn't right for people to do that. And I'm not just knocking him, because there are people all over the world. As a matter of fact, Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the Palestinian Association, PA, is his doctorate degree is in Holocaust denial. And so we have to be aware of these things, and groups like ours and people gathering all over the world. I think it was 15,000 gathered in Poland and Israel and all over the world, as we continue to remember. Because if we stop speaking out, if we stop talking, if we stop speaking out about these things, it will happen again. And it'll happen again this time, maybe to the Jews, maybe to the Christians, maybe to another group, but it will happen again. And we're the voices that have to stop it. And so I was shocked when Congressman Gates invited that man to the State of the Union address. I was more shocked by his response to it, that he played it off as if it wasn't a big thing and it just wasn't a big deal, and he's just somebody he invited there. Look, you don't invite somebody to an event as auspicious as the State of the Union without thinking about it. And if you didn't think about it at all and you just didn't know, you don't need to be a congressman. And you don't need to be representing a group of people from a state. So I just ask that all of us, not just those here present, but those watching, be serious about this stuff. Understand that the Holocaust was a real event that really happened. It took the lives of 6 million Jews and about 6 million non-Jews. And that these kind of atrocities and genocides are still going on around the world, and we need to be aware of it. And we need to speak up and say something. As Barbara said, if we don't speak when they're doing it to other groups, who's going to be there to speak when it's us? And so I want to thank you for coming out. Thank you for continuing to pray. Pray for Congressman Gates, and that he'll see his error and be sincere about it. I just watched an interview he did where he just kind of played it off and joked about it as if it was no big deal. It is a big deal, and we need to make sure he knows it's a big deal. And if he doesn't get it, then we need to get somebody in there that does acknowledge these things are big deals and stand up for our state the way they should. So thank you for coming, Rebitson.
El Malak Rachamim, God full of mercy. God full of mercy, defender of widows, father of orphans, be not silent or restrained regarding the blood which was spilled like water. Grant proper rest beneath the wings of your presence in the great heights of the holy and pure, who, like the brilliance of the heavens, give light and shine. For the souls of the multitudes of thousands, men, women, boys, and girls, who were killed and slaughtered and burnt and suffocated and buried alive in the lands touched by the hand of a Nazi oppressor and its followers, of all of them holy and pure, may the Garden of Eden be their resting place. Therefore, may the Master of Mercy shelter them in the shelter of his wings for eternity and bind their souls with the bond of life. God is their inheritance, and may they find peaceful repose in the resting place. And let us say, Amen.
Once again, thank you to everybody for coming out and being part of this. And please, let's make it a point to talk to others, to share, to encourage others to keep this ever in their mind. Never forget that the Shoah would never happen again, and that we would be the voices that keep that from happening. Amen. Thank you, and shalom.
Shalom.